What's up guys, Adam here again, and today I'm going to be really breaking down probably one of the most common questions that I've seen recently when it comes to power tools. And one of the power tools I'm going to be talking about is probably the most common power tool that anybody owns, whether that's construction workers, DIYers, hobbyists. If you own tools, you probably own this tool, and that is the common drill driver. But this video is not going to be just about breaking down this drill driver. It's really going to be about this drill driver versus this impact driver. And I'm really going to be breaking down what are the differences between these, what are they good at, what are they not so good at, what are the best applications for them, and hopefully give you enough information to decide whether or not you're good with just owning one of them or if you need to own both of them. So let's go ahead and really break it down and jump right in. Let's go. Now, these drills are so common because they've been around for so long, and they are capable of doing numerous jobs. Now, these things are great at drilling holes, and that's because it has constant torque at all times. Now, they might have variable speed, which means you can change the speed at which the drill bit is rotating, but regardless of the speed of the rotation of the bit, it has constant torque at all times. You can also use it, and pretty much what everybody has used for many, many years, you can also use it to drive screws, and whether that's your standard Phillips heads, Torx bits, or star bits, flathead, you can even drive impacts with bolts. So it serves multiple functions and it's actually really good at them. Now, it also, on most of these drills, you're going to have different speeds at which you can set these at. You can also change it to whether you're drilling or you're going to be driving screws. You can also adjust on a lot of the more modern drills, you can adjust the clutch on the drill. And what that allows you to do is by adjusting that clutch, you are changing the torque setting. So for instance, if you're driving screws, maybe you will want to have a lower setting so that as you're driving that screw, it has less torque, that once it reaches, that screw head reaches the top of the board or whatever it is you're screwing into, it will start making a noise like an impact would, and it will not continue drilling it down into whatever it is you're drilling into. It's a way of keeping it from over drilling and sending that screw down below the surface. These drills also have adjustable chucks. And what is nice about that is that you're able to, without using a key, on a lot of your older drills, you had to use a key in order to adjust this chuck. But these chucks, by being able to tighten them down, you're able to use different sizes of drill bits, whether that's your standard circular drill bits or a squared off drill bit, or if you're using something to drive screws like a driver, it's going to be able to tighten down nice and firm on whatever it is that you're inserting into it. So that also makes it a more versatile tool. Now, one of the big downsides to these drills, and we didn't really know it was a downside until we advanced more and got the impact driver, is that these are they're kind of bulky items. They're also heavy, and it's not very conducive for if you're trying to get into tight spots with drilling in screws, for instance. Also, what's not the greatest about these is because it has that constant torque at all times, as you're driving a screw, it can cause what's called camming out. And what that means is you're stripping the screw head. If you don't put enough downforce onto the screw head, onto that drill, which uses a lot of your wrist, your forearm, even into your elbow and your shoulder, and a lot of times you're having to push up against it using a lot of weight to keep that bit nice and secure inside of that screw head. So it can be something that's not exactly ideal, obviously, and again, it happens very regularly where you end up then stripping that screw out, and sometimes you're not able to get the screw head out. It's stripped out so bad, but if you can, then of course you have to start over with a new screw. So that is one of the big downsides to using this drill as far as driving screws anyways. So now let's get into the impact driver. And the impact driver, in my opinion, should not be as versatile as the drill, and I'll get into that in just a moment. But these are really made, and they haven't been out a super long time, but they've been out for a little while. And again, there's still so many questions about why do I need one of these? Well, first of all, these things are really made exclusively for driving screws. They apply so much torque. They have more torque than your drill, but the reason why they're better at driving those screws, which we just talked about the drill driving screws and all that torque, how that's a problem. But with these impact drivers, when it's applying that torque, it's also that it has a lot of torque, but the motor itself engages and disengages numerous times, and that's what applies all that extra torque. And that's what makes these so much better for driving the screws, because they have all that extra torque by quite a lot, and then that constant turning off and turning on of the motor, those bursts of energy that it's sending from the impact driver into the screw, is what then drives that screw down a lot faster than a drill would. So I'll show you now what that looks and sounds like. So you heard all of that clicking. That is the impact basically coming to resistance and then also engaging that motor to engage and disengage numerous times to drive that screw home a lot faster. If you've never held one of these before, one of the first things you're going to notice as far as holding this is that it's just much more ergonomically nice to use. I mean, it's a lot more lightweight. The head is a lot smaller on it, so you're able to fit it into those tight places. So just off the bat, it just feels better. And because of the torque and the motor engaging and disengaging regularly, you don't have all that added strain in your wrist. You're not having to really push on it. You're really letting the tool do the work for you. Now, these impact drivers do not have that adjustable chuck like the drill had. What it has is this sleeve up on top that when you want to insert a drill bit, you just insert it in, and now it's locked into place. And all you got to do to release it then is pull up on the sleeve and the drill bit comes out. Now, this drill bit that was in the impact driver, this is just a standard drill bit. I would not recommend using this all the time or depending on using this all the time in an impact driver. It's not impact rated. You're going to need to get some impact rated bits. And the reason for that is they're just not made to withstand that constant on and off torque, those bursts of torque that the impact driver gives. It's going to, I'm just telling you, if you use these, you can use them, they will work, but I'm telling you that after you've used it for a while, it will break it. Now, another question that I've seen asked a lot is whether or not these impact drivers can drill holes. And while the answer is yes, they can, and in fact, they do make drill bits that have the shank on them in order to go in this collet to where, yes, you can drill holes with this, but that's really not what this was designed or made to do. This thing really is just designed to drive screws just a lot more efficient than your standard drill. So now that I've gone over pretty much all the basics of these two power tools, what's my opinion as to whether or not you need one or both? If you're not a big DIYer and you don't build a whole lot of things, you don't do a whole lot of repairs around your house, but you want the option to do a project here and there or fix something here and there, then obviously, without a doubt, you can get away with just having this drill. But if you are a big DIYer, you build a lot of things, you're a woodworker or an aspiring woodworker, someone who's going to be driving a lot of screws, then I feel like you need to have both. I mean, you need to have the drill for drilling holes, pilot holes, and you need to have this. It's a lot easier on you, it's a lot easier on the screw head, and it's just overall easier with driving screws. So if you do have a lot of use for building things, in my opinion, you absolutely need to have both. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. Maybe it helped clear up some of those questions about what the heck is the difference between a drill and an impact driver. If it was helpful for you, please let me know by leaving a comment down in the comment section. And of course, if you have any questions at all, you can leave those down in the comments as well. And if you like videos like this one today, then consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. See ya!